here we go. So, this will be part one of the 10-2 notes. We will not finish it today, but we will get started on 10-2. Okay? So, lots of angles in a circle, because if you connect radii and diameters and chords, you create lots of different kinds of angles, and that's what we're going to talk about. The first one is, if you have a circle formed by two radii, it is called a central angle. A central angle is the angle formed by two radii. The vertex will always be at the center. So here you can talk about angle APB, which is the same as angle BPA. Remember, the middle letter needs to be the vertex. Okay, so you can't call that ABP. P has to be the middle letter. And we did all that first semester. So just that was those reminders from naming angles. Okay? What is the total measure of a circle?
360.
360 what? Degrees. Circles and angles are measured in degrees.
36 degrees.
Don't. Okay? So, a central angle creates two, what we call intercepted arcs. Is it working?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's working.
Are we good? Okay. So, a central angle creates two intercepted arcs. The part of the circle that lies between those two segments, so you could talk about arc AB, and the part that would be outside it, A, and you would have to name it, so we'll call them ACB. So, we'll talk about that. Looking at this, those two radii would create, and we just put a little arc symbol, AB, with a little arc, or BA. Arc AB is the same as arc BA. AB and BA are the same. Okay? But then if we want to talk about the other arc that's created, there's also a part of the circle, but we can't just name it AB because we wouldn't know which one. So we put the middle letter in it. ACB. Okay? So we would call that arc ACB, or you could call it BCA. Same arc. Okay? But it just tells you which way to go. Okay? Okay? So, arcs measure the same as circles. So the total arc measure of a circle is also 360 degrees. So, if the arc measure is 180, what would you think?
Half circle.
It's a half circle, so it is we call it a
Hemicircle.
semicircle.
Nice one.
Hemisphere, semicircle. A half of a circle is a semicircle. So, looking at this picture, AD is the diameter. So, the measure, and we always put the little M in front of it, and this took me like 15, 20 minutes yesterday, because last time I just drew it. I just printed the notes once, drew every little arc, but I finally yesterday figured out, can't do it in Google Notes, but I can do, or in Google Docs, but I can do it in Word Doc. I can get the symbol, and then I had to snip it and take a picture every time I did one and move it to the notes. But it's done now. Correct.
Good job.
So, the measure of AD will be, what would be the measure of AD?
180.
180, because it's half the circle. Okay? So, there are two different types of arcs. First one, if it's smaller than a semicircle, it is called a minor arc. So, looking at this picture, name some minor arcs.
AB.
Arc AB, arc BC, arc CD. You could talk about arc AC. Okay? because it's a minor arc, it's less than 180. So if even though I did not put the B between, you can name this AC or ABC, they're the same arc. Okay? If a minor arc's less than a semicircle, what do you guess the other one is? A major. So give me an example of a major arc.
A, D, C.
Starting at A, D, C would be a major arc. What's another one?
B, A, D.
B, A, D. Can one call it what?
Call the arc C.
No, major. Okay? You could also do A, D, B. And if you started at A and went towards D all the way around to B, you could start there and go all the way around. Okay? You see there, you can name them lots of different things. C, D, A, C, D, B. There's lots of major arcs.
Wow.
Okay? And the middle letter tells you which way to go. Okay? You can talk about C. Guys, look up here. Notice, if I said arc CAD or CBD, it would be the same arc.
Can you just say C?
But if I said CD, it would just be the little. Because I would not know which way, so I would assume it's the smaller one. Okay? So, guys, do you see that CAD and CBD would be the same arc? Okay? Because you're going in the same direction. Okay? One more? No. Only three. So, 2 letters. Typically, 2 letters is your minor arcs. 3 letters is your major arcs, because it'll tell you which way to go. Okay? Not always, but in general, that's the way it works. Okay? So, to find the measures of those, a central angle and its intercepted arc, here's a new word, the arc that is made by that angle, we talked about it up above, it's called an intercepted arc, have the same measure. So we'll do a little more and then we're done. So, if I'm given that this is 30 degrees and this is 60 degrees, what would you know about angle CPD? CPD, what would this angle be?
It's 90 degrees.
It would have to be 90 degrees, right? Because if that is 90, a whole line is 180, so CPD would have to be 90 even though it's not in the picture. Okay?
What is the 90 on the line of the circle?
So it's telling you that the arc is 90 degrees. So the arc has the same measure as the angle. Okay, so that's what we're about to do. What will be the measure of arc AB? 30 degrees, because it's intercepted by angle APB, so it has the same measure. Got it. Okay, BC, arc BC's measure. Cole, arc BC's measure.
Arc BC 60. Bro, you
60
stole my
degrees.
sun.
Stop, Cole. Angle CPD, we've already written it in there, we wrote it in, is 90 degrees. What would be the measure of arc AC? 90 degrees. What would be, and you don't have to put the degrees, what would be the measure of arc ADC? So I'm starting at A, coming all the way around. 2 ways you can do it. You can do 180 plus 90 or 360 minus 90. Either way, you get 270. That's what we're about to do. Yep, a semicircle will always equal 180. What would be the measure of BAD? Arc BAD.
210.
180 plus the 30, so 210. And CAD,
270.
I said it first.
start at C, come around, so it's 360 minus that 90 or 270. example one. Take a second, do example one. And then this is where we'll end. Notice that it's given that AD and BE are diameters. So that means that those lines are going to create vertical angles in there. So if that's 18 degrees, the other one's 18 degrees. What'd you get for BC?
72.
72. What'd you get for ACE?
198.
180, because that's the semicircle plus the 18, right? So 180 plus 18. So 198. What did you get for angle A, or arc AE? 162. So 180 minus the 18. And then EAD.
342.
360. So we're starting at E, I'm going all the way around to D, taking away that 18. Okay, so 360 minus 18, 3 what? 42. Okay? And that is arc measure. That's where we'll end. We will pick up there tomorrow.